What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Today is a special one since this is my very first custom cape. And this is a Drape cape from Lab Toys. And if you are interested in this cape, I'll put his store down below and also his Facebook page, because there's a few tutorials that you need to find out if ever. Because as you can see, mine came in an envelope, which is not bad, but it says there on Facebook that if yours arrive a bit, kind of wrinkly, mine didn't, that you could iron it, but on the other side. Because you can see here, this is the pleather side. The opposite side is fabric. Now, this is my concern for 89 Batman, because it is very specific. Like, his cape has this leather-like texture. And I was afraid that it's not going to capture that. But comparing it into the stock cape that came with the Hot Toys one, I think he did a pretty good job, because it does look like it does retain the grain and all the textures while maintaining the thin nature of the fabric. It's thin, it's light, but it doesn't feel cheap. So that's a good combination right there, because I've seen some that checks those boxes, but when you hold it, it feels like you're gonna rip it. This one doesn't feel that way, and it's very easy to, as you can see there, you see the grain, almost similar. The other one is a bit too thick for my liking, the stock cape from Hot Toys, and that is why it doesn't drape as well. It's not a terrible cape, but it's not doing the job that I don't know if I want to say supposed to, because there, in our hobby, there's a wired cape, for dynamic poses. You have also a drape cape. I'm more of a drape cape kind of guy. Don't get me wrong, I do love them some wired cape, but if displaying on the shelves, I'm mostly a drape cape kind of guy, because I've always feel like the wired cape is I can Photoshop that. I can tape the cape, but if you're just gonna stand in the shelf, I think the drape cape is much more appealing to me than the wired. Make no mistake, I would grab a wired cape. The Man of Steel from InArt is a perfect example of how it's supposed to be. However, we're not gonna get that from Hot Toys yet. So in the meantime, because they settled in between, they're like, okay, I want something wired but can still drape. So it doesn't do the job well for either, but it's somewhere in the middle. It is serviceable. It's not a bad cape, but it's not outstanding. Also, in the instructions on Facebook, it's optional that you create these pleats. It's hard for me to do that with a camera on my chest with a big tripod. So if you decide to purchase this cape, refer to this. Again, this is purely optional, so you could, right now you're seeing my elbows. This is what I'm talking about. I don't have the freedom to move here, but without this, it's very easy. He did it in like 10 seconds. You pinch both areas in the collar, you pull it, so now you create those lines. Again, it'll just do it by itself, honestly. It's very idiot proof, this cape. Honestly, you can just put it on and it'll just hug the body. It's so soft and light that it just creates this beautiful silhouette of Batman that I haven't seen from the stock cape. Like I said, this is my first custom cape, and I cannot wait for him to tackle Batman Begins, because we all know that cape, even though it is serviceable, like I said, serviceable, after you get a stock a custom cape, you're kind of like, life changes. It's like with Batman Begins, once I decide I will get the custom cowl, I'll be like, I want to do that with DX19 as well. So, hey, in Batman, we all know, like, the customization is endless. It's up to you whether, you want to go that route or how much you are willing to spend. Speaking of spending, this look right here is really easy to pull off. You don't need to fold anything. Like I said, you pull it over his shoulders, it would just drape that, because the fabric is so thin. It's so light and thin, and it's just movable that it's easy to navigate, you know, whatever look. It doesn't require effort. This is my first custom cape, so I'm not an expert in this whatsoever. But I was trying to say earlier is that this is like $41. I've seen custom capes range from $50 to $100. This one, I'm not asking you to throw away your stock cape, because I think there is a use for that. But look at this look right here. Isn't that beautiful? Again, this has no effort from me whatsoever. I put it on, spread his arms, kind of like, hey, you know, he's showing off his belt, like he has a new belt. But look at the back. Look at how it just drapes and creates those pleats and those folds. It just happens organically. Again, I didn't spend time, you know, like perfecting this, nothing. I put the cape on, put the cowl on, and start recording. And this is the result. It's beautiful. It just is. You know, if this was the stock one, it would be a little stiff. And I get it. I get all that. But like I said, for $41, this is, like, you know, and this is the comparison, the stock to Lab Toys. I can only speak for Lab Toys. Like I said, it's my first custom cape, and I'm extremely happy with this. The stock cape, serviceable. It's not terrible. You know, we're not talking about Batman Begins, you know, 2011 here, the summer exclusive. That cape is bad. Speaking of which, I hope he does, because I've watched D Knight's video and he did a velvet cape for that Batman Begins. If he ever makes a run for that, I am all over it. But you can see the improvement that you could do with your figure, or let's not call it an improvement, an alternate look, you know, that you could provide instead of the stock cape. That it hugs the body so well. The silhouette that you could create if you are just taking a picture from behind, you know, and just creating a silhouette, this is the cape for you. If you're like myself, final thoughts on this guy, that just wants to leave their figure in the shelf. Look at that. Look at that beauty right there. Look at how it just flows. I bet you if I have a fan, it'll just blow in the air. You know, it's beautiful. And D Knight knows a lot of things about Batman, and I saw this in his video. So, you know, good source right there. Beautiful, beautiful cape. Highly recommended. Again, I hope, I saw on his, there's an eBay page. He's making one per VBS. I don't know if it's going to fit BVS 2.0. I don't even have BVS 2.0 yet. I will get that. Make no mistake about it. And when I do, I'm going to check it out. I'm sure it's serviceable, but I don't know if it's going to drape like this, though. Life has changed so far. But let me know in the comments, you know, what do you think about this cape? And again, if you are interested, I'll put his links down below. Thank you for watching.